Hey everybody, happy Sunday. I didn't have anything in particular to do today. It's snowing here in Dallas. We've got about an inch, which means everything is shut down and all hell is breaking loose. So I figured this was as good a time as any to just play around with some of the Playfield layout ideas that I've been thinking about, and we'll just see where it goes. Hopefully it'll be fun. Alright, so this is the bare bones Playfield prototype that I have already set up. I use this as my starting point for most of the Playfield designs that I play around with. I have a couple of others that have a slightly different Italian bottom than this. I've got some with 2 end lanes. Actually, I guess I could just show you. Let me go to my Playfield layouts. So this is the one that we're starting with. It's your pretty standard layout. I need to do some tweaks to it. My end lanes are a little bit too wide, which I figured out after I cut a Playfield. And at some point, I'm gonna go in and fix that, which will propagate to the rest of the designs. So that's one of them. I did this 3-lane flipper layout. Here we go. Over here on the right, you've got 2 end lanes. One issue, though, is that this part doesn't exist as far as I know. It's one that I needed to build. I theoretically could print one, but I'm not sure how long it would last. And then, just for fun, I started putting together a layout that's got a sling, a pop bumper for a sling, sort of the way that Rick and Morty is set up. Someday I may do something with that, we'll see. But in the meantime, I figured we'd start with the regular Italian bottom. Now, one of the things I've been thinking about is I'm trying to come up with some good, unique shooter lane entryways. You know, I've got let me find the ramp in here. I do have the shooter lane ramp. That's your standard fare in general. Figure out where this goes. Yeah, that's pretty close. It's good enough for us just getting the idea. So the idea behind this, obviously, is that you'd have a rail that wraps around the playfield like this. Off of the shooter lane, the ball comes up, goes over that rail onto the playfield, and then if the ball is rolling back this way, it hits the side and isn't able to go back down the shooter lane. That's fine. Those are, that's a pretty ubiquitous design. I'd like to try to come up with something a little more interesting. Let's go ahead and, with this, let's create a new component so that I can hide this. We can try a couple of different ideas here. I'm going to call this scoop shooter lane. And now that we're in this component, we can show and hide big chunks of stuff that we're going to throw down here. Where are my scoops? Open back scoop. Okay, so this is one of the assemblies that I have here. This is actually the one from Pinball Life. Whoops, that's not what I wanted. Let's open this up and move it. There we go. And I see now that maybe I didn't. Let me try this one more time. Let's add this. Is this? I might not have put this at the correct height. No, that's at the correct height. That's good. I want to make sure that it's lined up on the playfield where it should be. So there are a couple of ways that I can do this in Fusion. One way that I've found to work pretty well, this scoop's origin is, I guess I can't show it in here. The scoop's origin is at the top of the playfield where it needs to be so that the underside gets mounted properly. So one thing that I can do is I can throw in an as-built joint with the scoop and the playfield. Why didn't that work? As-built joint with the scoop and the playfield. And instead of making this rigid, I can make it planar. And the snap can really be anywhere. It doesn't super matter. So now that that's done, I can move this anywhere in the playfield, but it's constrained such that I can't move it out of its alignment on the playfield. It'll always stay on this plane, which is pretty helpful. It's my wife, ladies and gentlemen. So one of the ideas that I was thinking about is if we had a scoop here, we would have some small cutout. Let me go ahead and it's going to revert the position. Let's go ahead and just sketch some stuff. So if we have a rectangle and we can move this. Oh, I'm doing the point, apparently. Oh, let's not do a rectangle then. Put a circle for a drop, just so that we know. So the idea would basically be that off of the shooter lane, we might have something. Let me use a spline. Something kind of like this, where we've got a rail that is going up into the shooter lane. Or sorry, into the scoop. Hi, Surreal. This looks interesting. What application is this? Wind Raider. It is Fusion 360. I've done pretty much all of this, and thanks for the follow. Appreciate that. I'm hoping to do a lot more of these because I'm enjoying them, and I think it would be a lot of fun to collaborate with chat in doing it. So the idea would basically be that we have a couple of rails that go directly up into the back of the scoop. Meanwhile, we've got something else that comes down towards the flippers, so that there's a mechanism for going into the back of the scoop via this direction as well. One of the and the scoop would be pointed towards the top of the playfield. I can't think of any tables that do that. I'm sure that there are. But if we set this up where there's a built-in skill shot where you could plunge up the rails, not quite make it to the scoop, and then make it down to the flippers, that would be one. Another is that if we aim the scoop out in this direction and have an orbit coming back this way or moving all the way around, then maybe we have an upper flipper that gives us another skill shot. I don't know. We'll have to see. But this is kind of the idea that I'm sort of playing around with. So I guess before we do this, let's go ahead. Now that I've realized I've forgotten to do this, let's go ahead and add some rails. Let's back up. Let's see. I guess they'll be different for every one of these. So we can do it inside of this guy. Let's create a new component. Call this main rails, I guess, or outer rails. Silly question, but has anyone ever had a scoop on a rotating platform before? Not that I know of, but that would be pretty cool. Sort of like, are you thinking Wind Raider kind of like the cannon on AC/DC, except it's a scoop? Something like that, maybe? Or did you think, barrels from Donkey Kong Country? I'm not sure what you mean, I guess. Are you thinking like free turning, or that it's on a servo of some sort and it'll aim, or? Because that does sound interesting. One way in, once opto is triggered, then it would spin on the servo and aim. Yeah, that would be pretty cool. That would be a fun mech to try to make too, I bet. I don't know about that. I don't know of any tables that do that specifically under the playfield. I know that a couple have cannons that are kind of like that. Circus Voltaire also comes to mind because it has that disappearing pop bumper, which I think is a really cool element to the whole thing. So let's see. Before I do this, let me change these rail lengths to something much shorter. Let's do, I guess, 16 probably work. Yeah, this way we can just kind of get them out of the way and put them up higher later if we want to. Okay, all right, so back to our rails. To do this, we'll just do a sketch on the playfield and start with our, our big loop, I suppose. Not sure exactly how we're going to want to do this, but we can tweak this as we go along. Something like this. Alright, and just so that we have some idea of what it is that we're looking at, we can take this and go up. What are these? Usually 1 1/4-ish. Sounds good to me. And just for clarity and completeness, let's go ahead and edit this rule to be probably, what, a 16th? Be my guess. It doesn't really matter as we're doing this prototyping. But... okay, so if we have that, now we can come back in here and yeah, we'll be able to add standard rails into this sketch. Where is that sketch now? Here. So now we can enable that and move these lines a little bit. This is pretty cool. So it'll allow us to go ahead and edit the curvature and placement of our rails. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's go back and I suppose we could just add all of these to here. Alright, since we have that, let's go ahead and add one that goes up to the scoop, and then another one that also goes up to the scoop, and then another that comes back down like this, just to try this out. Here, we'll go ahead and finish that, and I think we can do this all just with the same. Yep. Okay, so there are our rails. Let's throw in our scoop now. And move this up. I'll go ahead and put the joint in here so that we can't move this out of alignment. And once again, the anchor point doesn't really matter. Okay. So let's start thinking about how exactly we would want this to work. I suppose something like this, and then we're going to want our outer loop to come back and miss the scoop hole here. I wonder if it would be helpful to go ahead and remove this milling geometry, or let's at least show it so that we know where that hole is. Whoops. So we're going to want to bring this down. Little Bubblegum, welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. Praise squirrel gravy. How are you doing today? Let's see. This is going to be tricky to do, but as long as we can get the idea down, that's probably good enough. Real good, chill Sunday. Got some boba. Nice. Very nice. Yeah, it's snowing here in Dallas, and everybody's freaking out about it. So, what better time to do a little playfield layout? Okay. Glad you still have power. Fliptronic had to cancel their stream. Oh, yeah, we lost power yesterday. Last night. That's because of the snow. Yeah, we were without power for. It wasn't for too long. It was about 2 hours or so. Yeah, really. It wasn't so bad. At least we have gas, so we were able to start a fire. They're advising folks not to drive in Austin. Yeah, see, that's one of the problems here in Texas is that a lot of people will give Texans flack about that Texas is fragile. Yeah, I suppose, but we got a lot of flack for not knowing how to drive in the snow. But that's because it doesn't snow here. Between Fort Worth and Dallas, I think we have one snowplow, which is ridiculous because as soon as you get this snow, also this is crap snow, where it all just comes down as ice. It gets a little bit warm and then turns just into a sheet and is stuck. Heck, I don't know how to drive in snow. I know how to drive in snow in that you shouldn't, and if you're going to, do it slowly. So let's see. Continuing with this. Let's see. I'm trying to think of exactly how this would work. Let's put in another flipper. Because why not? Flippers are fun. Let's see, assembly right. Is this aligned properly? Yep. It is. Let's get it a little closer to where we want it. Although I suppose if I'm gonna, if I am going to just joint it again, it doesn't super matter. Point doesn't matter. There we go. And we're gonna need a flip of that for that. And for this, let's see what we want to do. At the top of this thing. And we'll put it there. And motion, we want revolute. There we go. And we'll go ahead and hide that so that we don't have to sit there and look at the joint all the time. So now, if we move this, yeah, the flipper goes along for the ride. We'll figure out, as we do this a little bit more, we can figure out actual placement under the playfield since, well, I guess let's do it now. Why not? So that can sit there. Let's make sure that it's not overhanging. It's not. Okay, that sounds good. And we can move the flipper. I guess about there. I think ultimately what we want is we want it so that if the flipper's down, I have to give this a little less curve. Let's see if that works. If the flipper's down, then we want it to totally skip the scoop, I think. But we also need to make sure that it's not going to hit the scoop. Or I'm sorry, that the ball is not going to hit the flipper as it's exiting the scoop. So this is always sort of a finicky process. Let's go back and assembly a little bit. Reminds me of TNA a little bit. Well, that's high praise as far as I'm concerned. I think Denise's designs, they're really interesting. Like his ball lock on TNA, I think is really cool, and I like the idea of having a pop bumper as a sling on Rick and Morty. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of his design elements end up becoming influences in whatever it is that I end up doing for the homebrew. Alright, well, assuming... what are we doing? Position. Artists inspire other artists. Absolutely. Especially when it comes to pinball, because everybody wants to... No, I think I copied this. Everybody, ultimately, I think, just wants to have fun. So maybe some of the old Stern guys. They just want money. Okay. So if we had something like this... We're going to want to put something here to actually shoot at. Something like, we probably don't want to make it a ramp because the scoop isn't going to have that much power to shoot this out. I suppose it could. We could put in a bigger coil, but that's true. It's a mix of what do I think would be cool, fun on a machine, and what do I think would be fun for other folks. Agreed. What I really like, I like the tables that are really approachable, that you can have fun just shooting, even though you might not know what's going on. But if the rule set is really deep and you end up being able to chain things together for big combos, then those sorts of tables really keep me engaged and make me want to play quite a bit more. Is there a theme in mind you have for this homebrew table, or are you starting with the Playfield design first? I have a rolling list of half a dozen themes, and it kind of just depends on the day of which one I think would be really great to do. I need to start writing them down, and in fact, at some point, I want to create a stream widget that has the current standing of each one of them, just for fun, and maybe I could get Chad in on that from time to time. But some of the themes that I want to do are Beetlejuice. I think would be really great. John Wick is another one. Diablo, I think, would be kick-ass because the art is just gorgeous. Big Trouble in Little China is probably at the top of my list currently because it's classic. Weird Science, which is they did the Strange Science pinball table, unrelated, but and then kind of as there's been a thought of doing sort of a John Hughes medley mix-up of 16 Candles and Breakfast Club and Weird Science and Pretty in Pink and all of those. I do think that John Wick would be a lot of fun. Scott Pilgrim, because basically it writes itself. Medley sounds off as a perfect crowd for it too. I agree. We're all old enough to buy pinball tables at this point. Yeah, the rule set for Scott Pilgrim obviously is going to be make it through the 7 evil X's and win Ramona. But if I do that, I have to put in a interspace highway somewhere, which I guess would be a subway. But as we saw in Avengers, that's not always a good thing. This stuff gets stuck all the time. But that would be a lot of fun for the artwork too, because we can pixelate a lot of stuff and you know, I think all of those themes actually have great potential for artwork. And we'll see what we land on. All right, just for context, I would imagine we're gonna want pop bumpers in here. It has such a good soundtrack too. Absolutely. Only if you're trying to ball lock in a subway do things get stuck. Fair enough. Yeah, I agree. But, well, yeah, that's a good point. The one thing that I do like about the subway in Avengers is that you can see it. I think I had asked at one point if anybody else, if there were any other machines that had a visible subway, and somebody mentioned one, but I can't remember what it was. Here, I am going to, because of course we're going to have these at some point, I'm going to go ahead and just throw in some pop bumpers. Because if you don't have pop bumpers, then it's not really a pinball table. Discuss. Joints. Here we go. So want that and that again, and origin doesn't matter. How many pop bumpers should we do? 6? Let's just do our normal 3, I guess. Let's build a joint. Sorry, that took me a second. Entire playfield of pop bumpers. Isn't that kind of like the old pachinko? It's electric pachinko. The old wood rails. I wonder if that would be any fun. What I ought to do is do an upper playfield of nothing but pop bumpers, and then try to snake lanes through all of them. That would be fun. Or a lower playfield. Possibilities are endless. I don't know exactly how far apart these need to be, but I'll say something like that. Popchenko upper playfield. I like it. I should put that. Actually, you know what? I need to start a list of stuff to stream, but that might be kind of fun. Just an entire thing of upper lower playfield ideas. Let's see, and then ice cold beer for lower playfield. Well, the problem with the ice cold beer lower playfield is that it wouldn't last, because I'd be drinking it constantly. All right, let's see, what else? What do we want to do here? If this were a Price is Right theme, it would be necessary. Agreed. Okay, so what do we want to shoot here? We have options. Let's see, spinners, Newton balls. Let's throw in a spinner. This is an MPT3K stream, little bubblegum. It's not nearly as good. Oh, hell yeah, that would be great. Just the digital shorts. You could have so many Easter eggs in there too. Actually, you could do an entire playfield out of nothing but Lonely Island skits. That would be fun. Oh. Wait a minute, what did I do? Yeah, that's okay. Why was it doing that? That's weird. Okay, that switch was just going nuts. Okay, so now we've got one of these. Could even play pinball if they were laughing so hard. Yeah, well, I can think of a few of the skits that would actually play into pretty well. I wonder if I could license Justin Timberlake. I'm sure he'd be thrilled to sign off on his likeness. Okay, let's see. What else do we have that would be fun here? Ah, that's interesting. Yes, big box. Well, obviously that's what the side of the cabinet is. Hey, Pin Daddy, how's it going? So, based on the scoop position, the ball entry, are you thinking of a two-way scoop or an elevated entry over the top of the scoop? The idea here, we're just playing around with this. I don't know if this is going to play out, but the idea would be that you can either plunge directly into the scoop. This actually will be cut out here. I don't have it in the back there yet. The magenta part of this is the subtractive geometry for the scoop itself, but this scoop has an open back here, so this would be cut out and have a little thing in there. The scoop is the box. So the idea of Pin Daddy is that you can plunge up here, and if you plunge short, then it'll fall back down here. That could be a skill shot. Or you can plunge all the way into the scoop, and then the scoop shoots into something. That could be another one. Something just occurred to me as we were sitting here talking. What if we threw in... Let's see. I have these diverters, but I think probably I'd want to use a flipper. Which one is that? It's a right flipper. Flippers again. Right. There we go. See, this is the great thing about homebrew, is any of these ideas are entirely plausible, because I'll never ever sell it. And let's go ahead and like these again. Done, so now we can move that. Let's see, do I have... Maybe in the parts I have a diverter. I know that I have this part, so I feel like I've definitely modeled it, but maybe I haven't. Sorry, I'm looking through the thing that is slightly off screen for you guys. Well, here, let's just make a new one, I suppose. We can do that pretty quickly. Shaft assembly. How big is this? 1/4 inch. Okay. Well, if that's the case, let's do a new one. Alright, so what I'm doing... Oh, let's just do it in here. Why wouldn't I do that? Now create a new component. Or diverter. Shaft. And isolate this, just so that we can build this by itself. And... Whoops. Wait. Okay, so the idea that I'm trying to flesh out right now is instead of trying to dictate going left or right, what if we had a diverter that would let us let it pick? Jeez. Okay. Let's see, and we want to... Alright, enjoy your Sundays, y'all. Stay safe. Ninja Smoke. Nice! Little bubblegum. Thanks for stopping by. I'll see you soon, I'm sure. You need to make that a redemption. Well, you know what? I need another 20 followers, and then I can start doing redemptions. So, we'll get on that. Okay. This, we're going to want to make that... We will get you followers. Okay. Bye. See you soon, little bubblegum. sounds good. Alright, let's hide this origin. I don't know how far we need to extrude this. Let's go two sides. And go up, say an inch. Down 2. Actually, this up, we're going to want to go 1.25 inches, I think. Since that's how high the... No, let's do 1 inch. 1 inch will work. Now, we want to do a sheet metal body. Where's our sketch again? Yoink. Go up 1 inch with that. Let's go slightly less. 15/16. There. Now we can hide that. And unisolate this. Now we can joint this. Oh, but of course I can't. We'll do this. We'll do this with an offset. What is that? Z probably. Okay, well that's good enough. This will at least give us the idea. Hide that one too. Okay, so let's see. Can I edit the sketch directly? Because that would be awesome. Yes, I totally can. Fusion is great for this kind of stuff. Okay, so let's take our flipper, put it up here, move around. So if we did, I guess something like that, but we need this going the other way. Oh, and we'll need to, let's edit this one more time and put it on the other side. There. Now it kind of looks like it would roll off. I guess in practice this piece would be welded onto the side of this, but this will give us the general idea for now. And then, let's see if we come back to our diverter shaft is done. What do we do? Outer rails? This will just be our rails, I guess. Let's put in another one. Go back to selecting this. Okay. Where's our sheet metal part? Is that? Yep, it is. So we can do this, and now place this appropriately. So, of course, all of this would need to be tweaked a little bit, but if we did something... Let's call this rails. We did something like this, where we can select which direction we want to go. I like options in pinball tables, you know. This up as well. So maybe something like this, where we've got a pretty wide open lane. Oh, that's going to move around, isn't it? Let's... can we freeze that joint? Oh, I'll have to find it. One of these. I think that's it. Lock. Okay. How can we move this? Yeah, there we go. So we could do something where this generally is sitting like this, so the normal shooting pattern is to go through this lane or potentially into something here, I guess. But optionally, under some conditions, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do. Actually, I want to move the thing. Under some conditions, our diverter could come in here and then redirect back around to the flipper. Like, that might be too short of a distance to actually do loops, but it's a possibility. Let's see. I don't know. Do you guys have any thoughts, any insight? What else might be an interesting way to do this? This doesn't leave a whole lot of room for extra bumpers and stuff like that. So I don't know. I don't know. That's just one idea that I had that I kind of wanted to flesh out a little bit. Kind of think through. I'm not sure that that's necessarily going to pan out. This might be better if these rails were shorter. Let me open up my other prototype thing and just take a look. No, that's not it. Tables. Hey, Toyota boy. Good to see you again. How does the scoop in the front of the shooter lane work? The idea with that, again, we're just kind of playing. The idea with this was that you could, the back of the scoop is actually open here, so there'd be a little feeder scoop that goes into it. The idea would be you could either plunge directly into the scoop and then the scoop would shoot it up the playfield, or you could soft plunge enough to fall back down through here for a different skill shot. I don't know if you saw this diverter that we had in here, where this could be another way of doing this, that the scoop fires it into the side. So it's just an idea, something to play around with a little bit. Oh, whoops. Go ahead and keep that. In practice, it might be problematic. I don't know if any other tables actually have reverse scoops like that, but that seems kind of interesting to me. Sorry, let me check really quick. Interesting. Okay. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry, I'll be right back. Okay. 1 sec. All right, sorry about that. let's see, where were we? I think Jack Danger's layout has had one. I've seen his Playfield, but I've never seen the real design of it. But now that you said that, I think you're right. There are quite a few games with scoop you can enter from the rear. Can't think of any off the plunger lane unless you count the Swamp. Well, there might be a reason for that. On the other hand, maybe there's not, and this is absolutely groundbreaking. Really doubt it. Let's see. What else can we do? Oh, I was going to take a look at this other layout that I had been working on a little bit more. I'm not real sure what I'm going to do with this. I haven't modeled the ramps for this, but that's what these lines on screen are. That this is a ramp that comes up and feeds into the right flipper. This one feeds all the way to the left, and then I wasn't really sure what I was going to do with this yet. One idea was that this is a disappearing post here. And you might be able to recognize that. And this line here was a small subway, sort of like in Theater of Magic, where the disappearing post pops up and it'll knock it into the back of the chest. So as you're going along, you can pop up the this post and it would knock it down into this scoop. This dual Newton ball setup was something that I was really enamored with when I started doing it, and I've kind of fallen off of it a little bit. The idea would be that you would have a ball that you could knock back and forth, and that would be, you'd have to do mechanically, you'd have to do alternating shots to make it score. And I liked the idea of that with a scoop right in the middle. I might get back to that at some point. We could try it, but this was obviously inspired by TNA as well. Inspired. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't have a huge agenda for today. And I'm not really sure where to go with this unless you guys have some ideas. There was that homebrew that had something similar, but the Newton ball went up wire form ramps. I thought about that too. I wonder if... do you know if it... The thing that I was worried about was whether or not there would actually be enough power to shoot it up a ramp. One idea that I've kicked around before that I think would be maybe interesting would be the idea of having a Newton ball with a captured ball, but the captured ball doesn't just go up a lane and hit a target or something, but rather you can knock it into a set of pop bumpers. And possibly, here, let me, as long as we're sitting here doing this, let me hide all of that and I'll just model up what I'm talking about. The idea would basically be that you would have some area where let me do a new component with this. You would have some area that is inaccessible to the normal pinball, maybe just an angled slingshot, maybe so. But your captured ball, you could actually knock around in there. That's probably also been done at some point. I mean, let's be real, just about everything has been done to some degree or another. What are we kind of captured pops? Really ought to mute my phone while we're doing this. Sorry. Okay. Whoops, it's moving it the wrong way. Try this again. Okay, I'm not going to bother mounting this for this just as we're sitting here going through this. What are my pops? Actually, I probably just ought to be doing this. Copy this. And let's throw in a pinball just for fun. Let's make it a black pearl, only because we can. There we go. I think that's no, it's sunk. We're gonna go what, 1 at 1/16 over 2. There we go. And position, and let's go ahead and just add some rails. So the idea with this might be that I mean, I'm putting in rails here. Really, these should be slings, which I could also do. But down here, these would probably be rails. Okay. You know, so if we had something like this. What's interesting to me about this kind of idea is that the inner part of this is completely inaccessible to the normal playfield ball, but reusing some of the same mechs that are on the outside of this boundary is on the inside somehow just seems cool to me. There's not a lot of rhyme or reason to it. You'd knock this thing in and bounce around a little bit. Maybe you've got a sling in there. Maybe you've got even a spinner or something, or maybe a spin toy that's in here. But it also doesn't preclude, using these same pop bumpers for normal play outside of the smaller area. There might be something there as well. I'm not entirely certain what it is, but it might be worth looking into as well. So, well, yeah, I think I'm probably going to go ahead and call it for today. I'm going to try to think of some more things that we can take a look at and maybe model out a little bit more. Like I said, today was just sort of impromptu. I didn't have any particular agenda, but I'll try to think of some more of these ideas that we can kind of flesh out and see where we get. So I guess that's going to do it for me. So thank you guys for coming by. I really appreciate it. Hopefully we'll see you soon. Let's see. Is there anyone to raid? Let's raid All Anonymous. He's good people. There we go. Or did that not work? No. You can see how often I do this. We'll get there. We'll get there eventually. Alright guys, I really appreciate it. I hope to see you again soon. Hope you have a good Sunday and good Valentine's Day. Take care. See ya.